Those people that keep saying, I did so much for this person, I do so much for people, I pour so much into people, I'm so good to people, they're always treating me bad. Those are some of the most toxic people on earth. And I'm saying the most toxic people, it's not even intentional. They're not intentionally being toxic, but they have this sense of self, like they are so good that they cannot understand why someone does not want their goodness. And while it can be true that you may be so good, you're still doing something wrong. The wrong thing that you may be doing, you may not have boundaries. You may not know how to interpret friendships. You may not understand cues in relationships. You may not understand how relationships work. You don't have discernment. You don't sit down to make sure that you're pouring your energy in the right place. Why are you continuously giving so much to people? Why don't you adjust? Why don't you examine yourself? Why in the first place are you giving so much to people that give you nothing? Why can you not take time to judge people's characters and evaluate if you should indeed be pouring into those people? At the end of the day, you can be kind, but who are you kinder than? Who you kind past? You kind past who? For you war. I'm so kind. People are always taking me for granted. Well, are you too accommodating? Are you always saying yes? And why are you always saying yes? You need to ask yourself questions. What is it that I'm doing that is giving off that vibe or is making people continuously take advantage of me? What am I doing wrong? Because there is something that you're doing wrong. You do not understand that people are not going to prioritize relationships the same way that you prioritize relationships. You need to understand how human beings work. If you refuse to study people, then you want to be used. You need to understand what is important to people, because a lot of times you're giving people things that you want and you're assuming that everybody wants what you want. So if you're somebody that loves to give gifts, you may be giving people gifts and thinking that that's what will make people bond, because you bond with other people when they give you gifts. That person that you're giving gifts to, that person just wants a good conversation with you, or that person wants to hang out, or that person wants, a hug, or that person wants concern. You need to figure out what people want before you start saying, I'm pouring so much into people. You're pouring, yeah, but did the person ask you that that's what they wanted? And yes, there are times when they will ask you, but you also need to have boundaries for yourself. You need to have boundaries for yourself. It's not everything that they ask you that you give. When you don't have boundaries, or when you want something desperately, you start to overcompensate. You start to do too much. If you want to be that giving, why don't you find someone that is like you? Are you able to identify people like you? Because it's very possible that you don't know how to identify good friends, and that is why you keep pouring into the wrong friends. And I'm not saying that people cannot camouflage and pretend to be something that they're not, but over time, if this is continuously happening, then you should be able to pick up patterns, or try to study people some more, or try to control yourself so that you're not so pouring when a relationship has not proven itself, or a relationship has not grown, or a relationship has not gone through the stages that relationships go through.